Well, hello again. We are back for another Isaac episode. One more tonight, and then two anti-birth ones. And at this rate, I'm cutting time, so I'm gonna have to eat right after this video, and then or finish eating, and then get things kind of situated, and then yeah, and the lost run. Okay. I actually do appreciate the loss. It's just kind of touchy at times. 3V, X3, SW, RK. Yes, we had a good few runs so far here, and had a pretty good topic of discussion. It's kind of funny how I've been running out of ideas, and then you go out in the environment and you kind of see something a little, off. Then you find a way to make a topic out of that, which is very helpful, I guess. I mean, I could probably come up with something else, I guess, but they just kind of clicked to me about a topic idea. So yeah, I mean it's still Monday. Less than 2 days to Repentance, so there's that. I think it was Ed McMillan just posted a tweet recently too about Repentance and showing off the Steam Play at Home Together thing feature, whatever it's called, and it looks pretty promising. I don't know who I'm gonna play with to play that together, but that'd be pretty cool, and it'd be pretty cool too to see the big Isaac players out there on YouTube collaborating with one another. Because they're kind of coexist out there as just players in general out there in the wild, and I mean that's about it. I mean some of them may do collab stuff here and there, not a whole lot because you can only do so much with the game to its state right now. But now with this local play stuff, it's gonna make it easier. So that's nice. With kind of keeping with that whatever going on. So I think we keep this, and we'll take it down the next floor so we can utilize it for hopefully a decent item. Oh, look at this. It's my arch nemesis, the Haunt. So yeah, it's let me concentrate here. Oh man, just weaving around you guys. Oh, okay, we gotta be careful here. Hopefully careful. Ooh. See, they're trying to psych me out. And we gotta be careful here too. So yeah, I think the Steam Play is refreshing because people were really interested in finding ways to compete with one another. Well, not compete, but more in the lines of co-op stuff with one another. Because I don't think you can compete with that. Of course, it's kind of too early to tell whether you can do that or not. My keyboard's acting up a little bit here. Maybe not. Might be a glitch. There's a glitch in the Matrix here. There we go. I actually watched so I had a chance last year to watch the Matrix in full. Sit down. I've seen bits and pieces over the years, but not just sit down and watch it start to finish. And then I watched the other two, which I hadn't really seen. I forgot the name. Reloaded, and then Revelations. Probably not Revelations. No, it's not Revelations. Because the last two are supposed to lead up to well, it's supposed to be an analogy or something like that. It's kind of tied to the Bible, and we haven't got to Revelations yet or something. I'll finish it. I don't know, something like that. I don't know the whole gist of it really. I just heard about it. I think I kind of see a little of those elements. I don't know. Also, I don't know about this button. Okay, well, never mind. So yeah, like, that's the thing with, like, you know, you hear about the glitch in the Matrix and stuff like that. You know, some people like just do it for fun, you know, for memes. Others are like serious in it. I'm like, okay. You got different variations of people. I mean, you know, glitch in the Matrix or you're in the Matrix, like that's like, I mean, you can attribute that to what society is now, like asleep with like, consumed with aimless entertainment and stuff like that, and not seeing the big picture in life. I could see it that way. I kind of see it that way to some degree. But then you got people who say like, "Oh yeah, this is real. This whole thing, this whole Matrix thing is real. We're building a simulation." It's like, okay, you're going a little too far with that, but you can believe what you want to believe, so that's fine. But I'm not going to believe it. So I'm not your targeted audience. Glaucoma, huh? It's either glaucoma or the other thing, but I'm not taking it. Kane's eye. My grandma had glaucoma, though. I think she had glaucoma. Got here. Ooh, that's nice. We don't have a key to get in there just yet, so we might utilize this until we find one. And I've heard stuff about, like, law of attraction. Like, or hear me out on this, because I've read books about it. I've learned stuff about it to some degree. So it's kind of a mixed bag of things, so to speak. So there's some truth to it, and then there's some misconstrued truths to them, to where it's like not the case. So it's a prickly thing, really. And this book's been written about it by different people, and some, you know, attribute to it to like religious aspects. Others, it's like, so you got the religious aspects, and then you got like, you know, the cultural, you know, aspects of things, and then you got like, man, what else? Like, godless stuff. Yeah, I'm being lazy with my words, like. Man, I don't even know how to put these in words, to come to think of it. So yeah, just cultural and religious, let's just say, right? And then just whatever miscellaneous in there. And there is this... So there's some science behind it, let's just say. Psychology behind it, too. Kinda. So this whole, like... So, like, some of them teach the sense that it's like, you know, the universe is providing, right? Or God is providing, or some higher being is providing, right? So, like, often it's like, you hear it's like the universe, right? Why? Because, like, when you say God, it sounds like it's more like, well, for some people, it sounds more like, oh, God, like, I don't believe in him, da-da-da. You know, some people like that. And then you got some other people that it's like, in the sense of they're agnostic, or like anybody who hear about God, like they all have their own interpretation of what God is, you know, with different religions and stuff. So that gets kind of sticky with that. Here I am being like some kind of a researcher here, trying to explain this, because it's not much in my league of expertise of understanding this, but it's why, like, I've kind of interpreted over the years about like what it means to, you know, understand this. I don't know. You're just gonna have to skip this, unfortunately, but you know, whatever. Skip that shop. 'Cause I prefer my damage upgrade, and I'm taking Mom's box. Further boost it. Anyways, so as such, when I talk about it as being partly true, so there is some psychology behind that is the case, and I've read books. I recommend a really good book called Psycho-Cybernetics. Like, really an eye-opener. And then I've read other books too. I might have to get my phone out and check out my Goodreads to see like stuff that I recommend to read that I've read. A lot of it was like psychology stuff and sociology and whatever. Maybe a little touch of religion. But not by much. And movies, so like certain movies also kind of like uses this, you know, unspoken like thing, unspoken like thing that's happening, right? For things that just magically happen. So it doesn't just magically happen, right? Of course, some people believe it does. See, it's all prickly, this whole thing, because, like, there's so many different pieces, and there's so many different, you know, philosophies behind it, and how it all, like, intertwines and works in this, you know, in this whole environment of things. And so, now, the reason why I brought up Psycho-Cybernetics is because like, so it was written like, let's see, it was written like in the like the 60s, I think, a long time ago, and then they made like a number of revisions to fix it up and add stuff. Oh, this is an interesting room here. What we got? Out of all these hours of playing Isaac, the universe has decided to gift me this. Nah. To me, I feel like it was more the lines of random, you know, number generator. But also, like, you could probably attribute to like, comedic timing, and it's like, all the universe is just, like, giving you something unique to look at, different perspective. It's based on interpretation, you know? Like, yeah, I could say, like, oh, the universe has blessed me with this. Blessed the universe to give me this, this wonderful slot machine that I can gamble my money away. No. It's it's just based on interpretation. Now you could say like, oh wow, he's lucky, he's got that. You know, the universe has, you know, blessed him. Okay. I mean, you could say that. Now, for me, in my sense, it's like, I don't see it that way. But I think it's also based on like the person's like perception of like how things were originally, to where it's like, wow, like the universe is really like paying out or whatever's, you know, helping me along the way here. And like I said, it just gets prickly. And then going back with what I was saying with Psycho-Cybernetics, so, you know, during the 60s, like, not a whole lot of people knew about, like, obviously, I gotta be careful here. Oh boy. Alright, why not? I don't know if we got hit or not, but I was hoping to get 9 lives, but whatever. Just crack that. King Baby, fantastic. Might as well just yeet you, so that way we get an increased chance for the devil deal. Butt penny, huh? No thanks. Anyways, as I was going back with this, so it was an early form of meditation, really. Meditation practices. And that's why the book took off so quickly, because, like, one, like, he was, like, the precursor, sort of. I mean, I think there were others, too. Of course, the author took some information and kind of, I mean, they also quoted, too, Marcus Aurelius, you know, with his stoicism and his ideology, and just kind of plugged that in the book as some form of relevancy with this. So in a way, it was like talking about. I mean, so basically, it's like the author was talking about the law of attraction without actually talking about law of attraction. See, I don't know if there was a word for that back then or whatever, but maybe there was, and maybe he didn't want to like get kind of stuck with that community or something. I don't know. But anyways, he found all these different strategies, you know, like fear to the mind, for example, which is a concept where if you you meditate something to keep a consistent like image in your head as you're meditating this every day for like a certain amount of time, then eventually it's going to actually work in your favor and you start to see some stuff that comes up. And you keep doing this consistently. And then he had like other strategies too. And it takes time to kind of do that, you know, work with your imagination to like do that. It's like you know, the whole saying, it's like think therefore I am, you know? You're kind of like doing that kind of thing, fake it till you make it. Now this might sound a little controversial because I read it in another book talking about developing skills kind of like that with practice. So the reason why I say it's controversial is because of a individual, but in this case it's more in the sense of like understanding like how this individual was able to like, you know, challenge the norms of how things were in society and how he was able to raise up in the ranks. So in this context of this person, this is Adolf Hitler. And so the interesting thing I read about in one of the books I read last year, about psychology stuff, was Hitler was never like he was never one to like speak elegantly or passionately or anything like that, right? And so like over the years, he decided to develop his skills, right? I can't remember if this was just something he solely did here, or he was trying to do something like in the public and then he did this. But so what he did was he went to the mirror, a mirror or something of his, and then he would give his speech in front of the mirror, right? Now you might be thinking, it's like, give a speech in front of a mirror, like, why would he be doing that? Well, here's the thing. So, like, he's doing something very similar to psychocybernetics, which is the theory of the mind, but instead of, like, you know, meditating on it with, you know, closing your eyes and just imagining, he was doing a combination of that. So, like, he was reading the speech, right? So I don't know if he had it written down or memorized or something. And then as he was doing that, he presented himself in front of the mirror. Now he kind of sees what he's doing, you know, subconsciously and stuff, and try to maybe fix himself up, maybe, perhaps. You know, straightening himself up, posture and stuff. That's part of it. But I think too, it's like making him be comfortable with the uncomfortable, to where like it looks kind of awkward for him to kind of see what he's doing. And not only that, it's like I believe too, if I recall. Ooh, magic mush. That's a rare treat there too. I do believe too, it's like he was not only doing these things, but he was also like imagining as if he were to give it to a crowd, just like with cyber cybernetics, when you pretend you're doing these actions and stuff. And he done it enough to where, like, to the point that he got in the ranks. He was a excellent speaker and all sorts of stuff, which is crazy, because he didn't have any of those skills. He didn't have the training from like a private tutor or nothing. He did it himself. And I don't know if he like read books to learn about how to do that, or if he just picked up on it by chance. Whatever the case, like he just did it. And he became one of the most well-known men in history too. I mean, in a bad sense, but originally he was just a nobody, pretty much. Isn't that crazy? That's all the power of the mind, too, with that. So, as I was talking with let me think here. I'm sorry. I'm just a little tired here. Psycho Cybernetics. He attributed those very similar skills. And here's the thing. So, you might be wondering, like, well, how does that work? Like, he's imagining something that is, like, you know, not there, you know, in the real world, right? Well, true, but like in his sense of the theory of the mind, he's pretending as though he was there, you know. And so this imagination, and that's what, you know, this is using your imagination to, like, and it builds up over time. You said in the book, the more you do it, that it becomes like reality to you. And that's a cool thing too, because like in the book, and I think in other books too I've read about something similar, they've even talked about, like, there's actually been research done about this kind of stuff where it's like they found that even with imagining experiences, right? You know what's cool about it is, like, your brain can't tell the difference between what is real and what is not, right? So it's like this whole Matrix thing going on, which is kind of cool. I mean, imagination is basically a simulation. And, you know, just think of it like the Matrix. And the Matrix, they kind of did some things I thought was kind of cool that's kind of relevant with, like, some of these kind of, you know, aspects of human psychology. And what else? Like, okay, so because, like, it's as though it's real to you, right? They found it's just as real as, like, it actually happening. And you gotta practice, of course, to make it even better. Then it eventually it just happens. And that kind of ties with the whole law of attraction community and, like, whatever else. Hold on a second here. I'm going to be right back. And we are back. I heard like 3 like notifications from my phone. Checked them out. I didn't see anything. So I don't know what that was about. Anyways, going back with this. So yeah, it kind of ties together with the whole law of attraction thing. And there was also a thing that was pretty cool too that was also tied to the law of attraction, the law of, like, you know, opposites too. What you negatively attract, you attract to. And so, so like in Psycho-Cybernetics, they're talking about, like, things with, like, people saying, like, oh, I'm not a great, like, runner or whatever. I don't know if they use that as an example, but say, like, oh, I'm not a good runner, right? So what you're doing is you're subconsciously sabotaging yourself by saying you're not a great runner, right? So, oh, it's pills. We'll just keep the star cards in case something gets hairy in one of these rooms. And then, anyways, so you believe you create this self-fulfilling prophecy that you can't do this because you think you can't, because of, you know, a variety of reasons. Like you were, like, conditioned to believe that you couldn't, you know, or you had, like, just, you know, negativity that, you know, from the past that led you to believe that you can't do it, period. stuff like that. And it's and that's the thing. They talk about like people suffering and everything because of like this kind of stuff going on. Going through their minds, and then that creates a self-sabotaging kind of thing going on. And with psycho-cybernetics, these strategies and stuff, they were, insisting that if you were to practice enough with it, consistently, regular basis, and have a clear intent on what you're trying to do when you're doing these kind of meditative practices, then eventually you break out of that conditioning. I've read other books about conditioning and stuff and whatever, and they're using different elements of similar to these kind of practices. Just different like ways to put it. You might just take, well, I don't know if I want to take you because you might drop spiders. So, whatever, you're for the ride. And what else? Like, so you got that. And they had other strategies too. Doing like journaling assignments and all sorts of things to like get you kind of prepared and whatever. I'm gonna have to go back and read it because I remember some things, but I need a refresher here. Really good book. Fairly long, but pretty good book. So in that sense, like, yes, law of attraction does to some degree work with that. I mean, like, oh, I knew it. I was like inches away from death. You just smiled, like, here, have a piece of this this thing from the universe. See, we're just talking about the spider, and then I attracted the negative. Who knows? Maybe that was the case. The universe attracted that spider to me after I made a point that he'd not be good. See? Now I'm getting spooked. I mean, it may or may not eventually happen, but how would I tell, Alright, black candles, nice here. That's a good start here. Some protection here. Alright, let's see. Mom's key might be pretty good, even though we're in the last floor here. Let's see, how does this look? Okay. I'm thinking about it maybe here. We've been to both of our item rooms, so we can't utilize that, unfortunately. I mean, battery baby might be okay. And we might just take this for extra consumables for now on. It's a decent haul. I'm surprised like we found our way without too many dead ends. So yeah, anyways, now as far as like the universe thing or God complex or something like that, like obviously I can't explain that. And whether that is true or not, I mean, I'm pretty sure it is to an extent. But like, I don't even know how you explain it. There's a lot of complexity and stuff just a lot of stickiness to it. I mean, there's a huge community for it. Practicing different practices from like different individuals who've taught it or, wrote books about it, and then you got others doing their own thing. But they're all like very uniquely similar to some degree. I don't know if I want that. I think our orbital here would be better. Because I feel like it might be a placebo. Oh boy. You know what? Let's just pop in and go back. Because we got hit kind of early on, and I don't want to get screwed. do I believe like there's a thing with that with like law of attraction? Yeah, to an extent. Keep in mind, like it's just. And a lot of it has to do with psychology. Of course, you know, sociology and all this stuff. Science. Because, like, it's like, you know, if you dress, you know, dirty looking and stuff like that, you think you're going to get hired in a job interview? No. You can't attract that. You attract the opposite. Now, that might be like a very simple thing or something, right? To you. But, like, and there's, like, more complexity than that with, like, just a bunch of other scenarios. But just say for this sake, like, you attract it like that, and then as opposed to, like, having excellent, you know, personality skills and whatever, qualities, and being clean cut and everything, like, you have a chance. Now, there's not to say, like, if... I'm surprised we didn't get hit. Now, that's not to say, like, that's going to be a 100% kind of thing, you know? It's, like, up in the air here and there, depending on the person, demeanor, just hundreds of different little things. Of course, another thing I've heard, too, I'm a little, like, a little bit more skeptical with it, is, so, there's this talk about, like, oh, you know, this person is, you know, attracted in your life because you both are on the same frequency level, right? So this gets complicated because it's science, and then they try to do some kind of a religious aspect to it for many of these. So that gets a little like wonky. So yes, everything's got a frequency. We can all agree with that. But when it comes to, like, being the same frequency because of, like, just... It's weird. Like, so, like, you hear the thing about, like balancing your chakras, and I've made jokes about it. There's, like, several different colors, and they represent, like, whatever different things and whatever in your body. I just don't know. Really, I truly don't know much about it, and how much of that is truth. But in part of one religious aspect, they believe that balancing your chakras would balance like your energy levels and become more harmony within the environment. Kind of, you know, stuff. Or like cleaning out your what is it called? Your pituitary gland in your brain that is calcified because of fluoride and drinking fluoride, and it's not letting you open your third eye. Like, I don't know about that, but I don't know. That's the thing, is like, you can only take so much of face value. You don't know, like, if this is true or not. Like, you got so much stuff flaming at you at once. It's like, in this world. It's why my mom used to say, usually to my sister, you don't know a word from a hole in the ground. I think that's true to me to an extent with, like, all this weird, complex stuff. And I think it's true to everybody to an extent with, like, you know, things they don't know about, and they're just so confused whether to believe or not, right? We're all in the Matrix together. We're all in the system. We can't get out of here. We pretend that we're free, but we're in a prison. We're in a cage, but we want to stay in the cage instead of get free out of the cage. That's like a whole different thing going on there. Open your mind. I think that was from that one movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he was Was it Total Recall? With the Mars trip? With the alien thing? Like, open your mind. This creature thing on someone's back or something. Like it was like an early form of Voldemort from the first Harry Potter movie. See, now I'm getting into like sci-fi stuff. Professor Quill and stuff. But yeah, it's and like I said, it's the psychology behind it. So like I keep trailing off with some of the stuff. So going back with like doing this theater of the mind thing, right? So because it replicates very similar to like, as opposed to like, not opposed. So it replicates very similarly to like how your brain perceives it in real time, in a real environment with stuff like that. Your brain builds the exact same neurons, right? Because your brain can't tell the difference. So guess what happens when it builds neurons? You're building experience. Shocking, isn't it? And he got yeeted by that bomb. Thank you, universe. I touched upon in like one of the episodes I've recorded with when I was playing. Oh man, you gotta slap me there. With Antibirth. Talk about like all the universes against me and stuff like that, or this game's against me. Kind of joking around with that a bit. And it's so easy for people to kind of fall into the trap too, where it's like the one gamer I've talked about that plays this game, you know, attributes this game to being like going after him because of a streak. Like, that's not the case. It's just coding and timing. But you never know. I mean, it could be Sentinel and we just don't know. Skynet could be alive right now and we may not even know. So hello, artificial intelligence. You're seeing this video right now. Sup, I guess, and go away. Let me live. So yeah, you build experience in the brain, neurons and stuff like that, like any other kind of skill. But you could do it just as easily. And best of all, you do it in your comfort in your own home. You don't have to go out and, you know, anxiously or like angrily or whatever kind of a negative emotion to it to accomplish it. I think another thing too, I think I've read in this is like having a positive emotion attached to like doing this thing or whatever. Be as crystal clear as you can to make it as realistic as possible. Thanks for the spider there, Buckaroo. I had a feeling you're gonna toss that at me. Tossing a softball. Like, it lists different strategies of how to do it. I don't really remember top of my head of that stuff. And the reason why I say it's psychology stuff, it's like, that's what it is. And you can see how, like, there's trends with, like, childhood trauma and stuff that kind of correlates with, or more than likely, like, contributes to, like, certain behaviors that more than likely show up to a child. It's not always the case, but it shows up more frequently because of certain elements within the household or, you know, traumatic experience or whatnot. Of course, they say that mindfulness does a lot of good with at least alleviating a lot of those problems and moving on. I think that helps greatly, though. I've done quite a bit of it. It makes a huge difference. And it kind of cuts that noise out, because like when you do mindfulness, what happens is you're just kind of like addressing those problems without taking a hostile approach to them or beating yourself up because you keep thinking these thoughts and keep doing these kind of actions. With mindfulness, you're kind of looking at these thoughts and you're just letting them go without any emotional attachment to them. Now, I suppose like there's also like practices too you can do with mindfulness where it's like you release the emotion somehow separate from the thoughts. Now, I have no clue how you really accomplish that. That's like something I'm kind of new to understanding, but I guess that's a thing. Oh, don't push your emotions away if you get stuff cropping up when you're doing mindfulness. You just let the emotions flow. And that's part of the cleansing process, too. Okay, what we got going on here? Tiny planet, huh? No. Spiders, huh? They're not that great, to be honest with you. So, fortunate enough, we got the damage. Just a little like, you know, prickly here with some stuff. But we might be able to pull this off here. We're on our last floor, though. Okay. This room's a little scary because he spits out. Oh, well, we're dead. Okay. Well, I mean, at least we got pretty far. I mean, that was kind of a fun run, a productive, like, topic, too. I mean, yeah, so hopefully you guys learned some stuff and had some fun watching, too. Yeah, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.